Nicola here to show you around some of the latest features and things on the Vivid Practice site. So I'm going to go back to November and kind of give an overview of most of the major things that we've updated since then. Some of you have seen some of the older releases in that roadmap, and some of you just need to see the latest ones, but I thought I'd do a full catch-up now that we have essentially completed the roadmap as it stands. So we're going to be working on our new roadmap. No details about that just yet. We're a little bit ahead of schedule in completing this one before March, when the last features were planned to be released in March. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule, and we're going to be working on a new roadmap of various tweaks and things that y'all want to see. But I think the headline for me is a lot of what we really, really want and need as teachers is there. I've been combing through this morning all the different features that you've been submitting, and I know there are tweaks and little bits and pieces that you'd like to see. So don't think we're not going anywhere after this, but I think a huge amount of the big features are now in place. So I want to give you a full tour. We're going to start on the website side of things. So this is my test account, my demo account. These are not my real students. I don't happen to have students who all have desserts for surnames. I just thought that'd be fun for my fake students. So anyway, some of the recent features. So I'll start in the assignment library actually. These all say copy because this is my test account, but in the assignment library, one of our little differences is that you can now rename your folders. So if you wanted to change this and remove the copy or whatever it was that you had there in error, or change your whole folder system and rename everything, you can now do that to your heart's content. The other thing that you can do is change the name of uploaded files. So this is not a good example of that, but this should be. So you'll see I have some attached files here. You now have this little pencil icon, so you can change that name. So if you forget to change the title before you upload it, like it's called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because it came off your phone or whatever the case may be, and then you want to change that after you've uploaded, you can now do that. So that's just a couple of little tweaks. Another more recent big feature is that we can now have groups for messages and for assignments. So we'll start with messages. So you can create a group for your messages. You can add whoever you want to it and call it a certain title. I'm going to call this Alice and Penelope, and just add Alice and Penelope to my group, and I can have a picture for it if I want. I like to add something fun there. The recital room is something I set up generally in my accounts, which is where I have everyone. So I'll add all of my students to the recital room, and that's where they can post videos. Sometimes students then don't want to be a part of that. In my main studio, that does happen, that they just don't want any messages other than from their teacher, and that's fine. I just remove them manually, so it's very adaptable. But a lot of students do love that. I recently had, in my main account, of course not here, a student who, a couple of weeks before the recital, suddenly they couldn't attend, sports fixture, usual deal, and his dad said, he's worked really hard on this piece though, so how about could he post it in the recital room group chat, and then the others can at least see it, and he feels like he's sort of a part of it. So that was a great backup to have for that kind of thing, but I encourage them to post any videos in there as they go. Now, you can also have groups for assignments. So you do this under students. You go to create a group. Let's have Terry and Claire. You don't have to call it the students' names, by the way. I just do that when I'm only doing a couple of students and it's for a specific purpose. The way I use this in my studio a lot of the time is I have buddy lessons. So I have students who come for a solo lesson and then a buddy lesson after that, so that they're with one other student for some shared time. And then I use this for shared assignments between them, which is really handy. Like I have a lot of students, a lot of buddies who would be doing maybe a duet where they're both learning both sides, or they're doing scales for a particular exam that they're both working on, or whatever the case may be. One set, for example, was learning all the major arpeggios. They just both happened to be at that stage. So anything like that, I can put it in here. And that means I can mark it done for both of them when it is done. So I'll just show you what an example of a group looks like. So this is Alice and Penelope. If I add an assignment now to Alice and Penelope, let's say they're both working on 60-Second Apprentice. If I now go to Alice, you'll see that 60-Second Apprentice is here. Oh, she already had it under her main assignments, but anyway. The 60-Second Apprentice is here, and it has this group symbol on it. That means that I can't edit it here. So I have to go to the group, and if you click on the group symbol, it'll go back to the group so that you can mark it done for both of them at the same time. So that is the groups. Another small change that's been asked for is to have the book and page number listed as a subtitle. So that now shows up in your students' active assignments and also when you're searching for things. If you have filled in the book and the page number, or either or, you will see that as a subheading under the main heading, which makes it easier to pinpoint the one that you're looking for if you're getting a few of them mixed up. Now if we go back to messages, a more recent feature that's just come out now is our stickers. So you'll see this new button for stickers, and you can see all these different things. These are ones I've put together. You know I love a pun, so a lot of them are puns. I hope you won't mind. And you can click on one of them to send it. So you just click it and it goes straight through and says Roarsome. And yeah, there's lots of different ones there. If you have particular ones that you want to see that are not here yet, please do let me know. I can add them in for you. I can add new ones. The ones that the student is seeing are different, because obviously they would say different things to you than you would say to them. So I've designed separate ones for the student as well. So those are the main things on the website, the big changes. There's a couple of other small things that you may have picked up on as well. We're going to go over to the app now and take a look at that together to see the changes over there. So this is the home screen of the app. No change there. I'll show you the stickers first. So in the student messages, I have in this example a group and a solo with just the teacher. That'll say your name, by the way, if you don't name your studio by your studio name, but we go by a studio name as the first and last. This is all silly test messages, but you'll see the new button is there for the students as well. So they have this little smiley face sticker symbol, and if they click on that, they can see their stickers here. There are fewer for the students. I did that on purpose. If you have specific ones that they want to have, that's fine. But I find if there are too many of something like this for the student, your student will just send you all of them in a giant stream just to test them, right? Whereas I've kept it kind of to one page for them so that they just have a few things and not too many variations on the same kind of ideas. This is probably my favorite. It says, I'm stuck. And it's a cat in a bunny costume. So I just think that's hilarious, but that's me. I have a question. We've got time to party. We've got just peachy, pizza cake, different little things like that. So yeah, a lot of positive ones, but also the I'm stuck, I need help, I have a question, and I know that's great for students who need to communicate, not feeling great as well. Maybe it's because they're sick or they're struggling with their assignment and that's their way of reaching out to you. So that's the messages on the app. The practice side of things look largely similar for students. We're not fixing what isn't broken. The blocked practice and everything there looks pretty similar. Next thing I want to show you though is the switch profile. So this is really exciting. So you can now add in, or your student can now add in multiple profiles on the one device. So if you have siblings or people sharing a device, any people who are sharing a device, they can easily switch back and forth and they don't need to log in and log out. So that's something you're going to want to pass on to your families to let them know how that works. it goes to the login page and they add it on, and then they can switch between them just by tapping. So that's going to be super duper handy. Just a little note about that. At the same time, they can also have multiple devices and they're logged in on both. That's part of this update as well. So if they have an iPad and an iPhone, they can log in on both. If they are in an active practice session on one of those devices, and then they try to start a practice session on another device, it will show them a warning, because they can't obviously practice at the same time on two different devices, because that messes up our statistics and our logging system. So, but they will stay logged in on both. They just can't actively practice on both at the same time. Hope that makes sense. And then final thing I want to show you in the app, final big update, is the practice history. So a lot of you have been asking, students want to be able to see when they practice, maybe parents want to be able to check it for their kiddo, so they can now do that. You'll see there's a little dot on the dates where they have practiced. Not a lot for this one because it is a test account. Hopefully your students have more dots than this. But if you then tap on that day, you can see what you did and how long and what type of practice it was, right? So the 0 minutes just means it clocked up at under a minute. That won't happen very often for students. That's because I'm going in and out to test something, and then they can just go through their calendar to see all the different dates that they practiced. So going back to November, none on lots of the days, but then random sessions here and there in this test account. So that's it. That's my quick whistle-stop tour of some of the latest and greatest features. As I said, that does complete our roadmap as it stands at the moment. So the roadmap that I shared with you in the Facebook group and also in emails and stuff, we're pretty much donezo with that. And we're going to be looking at other little tweaks and improvements that we might make. No spoilers on that yet, but when we have a more concrete plan that we can lay out in terms of a timeline, we will have a new roadmap for you. Make sure if you do have specific features that you want to see, that you're filling out the feature request form, because that's where I'm looking. Okay, I'm not really looking, things might stick in my mind from general emails or messages we receive, but when I look at what it is we should bring in and I'm balancing different requests, that's where I'm looking, is the results from that feature request form. So make sure you're filling that out when you have something that you really want to see in the app. I can't guarantee it because I have to balance keeping it simple and user-friendly for everyone with doing the things that each person wants to do. But that's where you can get your idea considered. I hope you love these latest features. Do let me know what you think of them and any creative ways you're planning to use them. Can't wait to hear from you.